I visited Bishan village for the first time in 2007, and then after that, I visit often. And last month, I moved my home from Beijing to Bishan totally and settled down there from this year. It has a very beautiful agricultural landscape and very beautiful Huizhou style architecture there. That is why I'm interested to set up my base there to start the Bishan projects. In 2003, I was commissioned by Venus Biennale to do a research about the urban village in Guangzhou. When I did this research, I found actually the problem of the urban village actually have a very strong connection with the countryside, because the agriculture was totally broken in the countryside. The farmer could not make living by agriculture, then they have to move to the city to make living. And that is why we have some slum in the city. So that made me interesting to do more research about the rural area in China. There's a lot of Chinese intellectuals doing this kind of rural reconstruction things in China, but most of them mainly working on, for example, to develop the cooperation projects on an economic level or on the social organization level. Bishan projects mainly focus on artistic and cultural event. After the Cultural Revolution, a lot of people, they have to leave the countryside and go to the city to make living. So a lot of the village almost get empty. There's only some old people and children left. So there's no any public life after 1970. So what we did is actually trying to bring more artistic and cultural event for the villages, trying to activate the public life again in the rural society. So we organized the so-called Bishan Harvest Festival every year in the village. We organized exhibition, we organized the film screening, we organized a lot of panel discussion about the rural reconstruction. We also collect a lot of historical photos from the village and exhibit this photo in the village. So when the villagers they saw the old photo, they got very exciting because they can find themselves when they was young. It's not easy for them to see this kind of old photo because it was collected in the archive of the local government. To exhibit the Bishan project is a challenge because it's not like just a simple art piece. It's very complicated social activity. So I think to understand Bishan projects, the best way is to visit Bishan directly